The RLCS Majors are the gateway to the World Championship. Last year, it was Team BDS in the fall, then G2 in the winter. And now we've come to the final page of this chapter. 6 teams remain, 5 matches to go, 4 major champions in a field comprised of 3 different regions. 2 teams take the stage, only 1 will survive and advance. It's time for Championship Sunday!
No more excuses! Not a single second chance. Time to put up or shut up for a spot in the top 4 achieved.
Only one way forward, and it's 4 wins. Lot to ask of KRÜ. They performed admirably over the weekend. Decent enough defense, but it may take something a little extra today if they want to take down a team like Complexity, and starting off early with a shot on target.
KRÜ really battled their demons in the previous matchup against Team Secret. And now another South American opponent, this time coming from North America's side. It's Complexity, who have just looked stellar at this tournament so far, and AJG striking first for Complexity.
Drops was close, almost got there in the middle of the box. You can see Brad just trying to throw Raiseball off the scent, and Drops, he's trying to get CRR out of the box to take away the passing option. Unfortunately, doesn't realize he just gave up the right side of the net. Complexity jump all over it.
So a 1-0 lead for Complexity. The expectation being met here in the first 30 seconds. The desk, for the most part, was on Complexity's side, and so were the fans. KRÜ have really had to battle against that expectation throughout this tournament, throughout this major. An unprecedented quarterfinal here from KRÜ, but how much further can they go? Complexity certainly one of their biggest tests so far. Brad denied into the Complexity side.
You know, I think if KRÜ wants to be successful, nice little pass, good cutout by Brad early to it. I know a lot of people impressed with Drops. Drafinho, Brad again towards the net. Here comes Drafinho, needs a little bit of help, not gonna find it. AJG just punches that out the open middle of the field, and KRÜ not done yet.
You can see KRÜ very similar to yesterday though. Individual chances against the Complexity side, and they're all just sitting and waiting for the clears to come right out to them. Good bit of possession there from Brad, trying to keep it over to Drops, but it was got away from him. Complexity. And that boy CRR, he's had a fantastic tournament. That's a touch over to AJG. Dangerous here for KRÜ. Drafinho very carefully trying to navigate this one out of his own end, but it's Brad. Now Raiseball, Complexity not letting them out for free.
Actually, like KRÜ willing to take a few risks, go down to the other end of the side, trying to open up a little bit of space, find some boost even while they're constricted. They're willing to put their defense in some tight spots to make sure they always have ways out of their net.
CRR averaging the highest score per game right now, and for a good reason, scoring a lot of the Complexity goals. And now CRR again strikes, and it's off the post. This one dangerously bouncing at the top of the box. AJG wants to keep it going. A rally off the back wall. Raiseball shot is deflected, but it goes in for Complexity.
Willing to take some risks, but they couldn't get the ball to the safety of the corner. It kept falling into the middle. It just allowed too strong of a Complexity attack. They're able to shoot at both ends of the net, and finally KRÜ just get worn down to pieces. They give up 2.
Find yourself 2 down if you're KRÜ, but there have been some glimpses on offense. Drops wanted a piece of Raiseball. Now Drafinho trying to go through. The touches here from Complexity, not giving it straight back to KRÜ. CRR working his magic down the sideline, but he needs help. Raiseball there. Another good tackle from Complexity to keep the attack going. KRÜ get out, Drops up quickly here, and he can't get the touch on target. Gets a little piece of it though. This redirect comes out to Drafinho, and KRÜ fighting. You can see that first player achieves chasing Complexity into their own net, just pushing players back defensively.
Yeah, they're really trying to open up that extra space. Hope that support comes through and can keep possession. Don't hate the idea from KRÜ, but you need to see some extended stays on offense is really what we're looking for. And unfortunately, you're going to have to be a little bit faster than that right now. Everybody on Complexity up early for all these challenges, and there's the demo in the net. AJG puts Drafinho in a tight spot, and he does a great job keeping it out, and he gets a little bit of help from Brad in the net to keep this one to a 2-goal deficit.
Complexity love to go for their demos, averaging well over 4, the highest with the teams left in this tournament. And you can see there AJG getting a couple. And now some space for Raisebolt. He sees Brad in the backfield, gets over one. Jorfinho is getting jostled in his box, but he's able to clear it away. Another one off the crossbar as drops. Just trying to get this one out for KRÜ. They're slowly suffocating to Complexity, but here they are. Jorfinho drops, chasing AJG. Jorfinho waiting for the lane, and AJG somehow still gets back to it. KRÜ sent everything at the Complexity defense and still came up with nothing.
Really good idea from Jorfinho, though. There's another demo, and this one just has to go middle. That's the right idea. Beautiful pass, and it will make its way through. They got one demo in the net. You knew there was all that open space in the middle, and they found it.
Finally a crack here on the Complexity's defense. Jorfinho, a light touch out to the box, and AJG stretching out to get there. But Brad knew exactly where to put it, and KRÜ won back. They cut that lead in half. They got plenty of time left on the clock.
This is exactly what has made KRÜ so dangerous all weekend long. Sure, they may give up a few goals every game, but somehow, some way, they keep themselves in it. They've been battling hard and dropped. Actually, a great fake. Really nice idea, but Complexity all over it.
He sold it, and Complexity still knew exactly where he was going. Now a demo comes out. Complexity trying to get that cushion back here in game one. Oops. CRR. It's got all of KRÜ sitting on the back line and on top of the net. Tough to break. The decent challenge comes from drops. Now Brad trying to get some control here over CRR. Drops, chasing Raisebolt, gets the bump, and no one was there to take the shot.
Close call, but KRÜ definitely needed a little bit more time to grab some extra boost before they really push, but no time left to worry about it. Time to go.
Good touch here from Raisebolt, 10 seconds left. Complexity looking to hold on here in game one. Jorfinho, is there any magic left for KRÜ? Brad into the air, demo comes out.
They got it, they got it.
On front of the net, it'll pop in for Jorfinho. We're going to overtime.
Oh, it was so tight, you didn't know if it was going to get all the way there. It's that short little pop from Brad. Look at the flip reset, and hang on, we're not done. We got a little work left to do. And KRÜ somehow right down the middle. Complexity can't stop it.
Somehow, some way, KRÜ will not go down without a fight. Overtime in game one. It has been a scrappy battle on the KRÜ side, but they have come back. Complexity now trying to put out this fire. Something similar happened against Team Secret. Ooh. Now AJG, this one to the back wall. Jorfinho, a touch to avoid the shot oncoming, and Brad with a great challenge. KRÜ trying to get out. Drops, losing control there, but a lot of time and space here for KRÜ. Looking to set something up. Brad, can he get over CRR? He does. AJG has to go. KRÜ.
Looks to me like Complexity kind of rattled a little bit that they've let this game slip into overtime. Starting to get a little too aggressive in that midfield, diving for things that are just a little too far away. So gotta be careful they don't allow a surprisingly dangerous counterattack. That demo may set something up for Complexity back the other way, but Drops wants it all himself, and AJG poked out the side wall.
Good challenge there for Complexity. You do not want to give Drops the flip reset cleanly. This one comes out to Drops again. He's met by AJG. KRÜ taking the challenges. Brad wanted to control that one towards net. Here comes Jorfinho. Flip reset. Not a lot of boost to work with, and Complexity get out.
Got away from him, but it's also getting away from Complexity. Hard one towards the net. Raisebolt having to dodge a demo. They're not out of the woods. And AJG, nice challenge, but there goes KRÜ again. That structure starting to come forward for them, and the pressure starting to mount.
Look how high KRÜ are keeping the ball away from Complexity. Everything's towards the ceiling, towards the edge of the ceiling, keeping it awkward. Complexity forced to use their boost, and you're seeing KRÜ really move up their line. Here's Drops, looking for the dunk, and a follow-up was there.
One-on-one.
Now Brad has to come up big. CRR shot is deflected. AJG trying to keep Complexity in this. Raisebolt shot goes wide, and maybe the first looks here for Complexity in about a minute.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough stint there on defense, but now they're starting to win a few challenges in the midfield. Complexity, can you make something happen here? Got enough boost on a couple players. May not be enough to stay there for very long, and indeed, AJG decided to go play a little defense. Great challenge from Raisebolt to prevent KRÜ from working towards the middle of the pitch.
KRÜ very eager to keep the aggression going. Drops, instantly turning on it, cutting in, not letting CRR have control for free. And yet, Complexity is able to move down to the KRÜ side. Raisebolt dunked away. CRR, weak shot. Drops trying to hang on to this one. He got bumped. 2.5 minutes, over 2.5 minutes of overtime.
Got to control this one. Yep, out to AJG, the right idea, and I think they're just looking for a little space. So yeah, let that one go and try and regroup here in the midfield.
Rafinho has to make a big save, and he does off the crossbar, and no follow-up from Complexity. KRÜ staying alive here in game 1 at the 3-minute mark.
Hero save from Rafinho. That one was not a gimme by any stretch. Had to cover that top left side. This one's towards the backboard, but no one coming for KRÜ. They'll let this one go out to the corner before they re-attack. Complexity just looking for any type of space to move the ball, and right now it's pretty tight.
Demo and a bump. This one dangerous in the box. Drops. Has to go. Brad has no boost. Racing back. Rafinho trying to slow down the transition, and he does. CRR no boost. Has to take the challenge. And Drops comes back into the rotation, and great work there from KRÜ. Not letting Complexity out for free.
And Razebull as well. Excellent job on defense, not getting demoed. As a nasty pinch again, forces them backwards. Complexity. Great pressure, and that one's right on target. The only one back is Razebull. He's in plenty of time. And up to AJG, hard off the wall. Brad, that's a nice safety touch down into the middle, and saved again!
Somehow the defense comes up big. KRÜ with the heroics on the goal line. Complexity not done. Razebull denied initially. The pass over to CRR, to the backboard it goes. AJG, the pass back to CRR. Target. Oh, it's beautiful from Complexity as they take game 1.
How do you stop this one? This one's hard off that right side, and AJG, you're thinking maybe towards the backboard, maybe the top left corner. No one's thinking about the dump back across the box. Again, they identify that space. Rip one on target. Complexity would not be denied, but boy, KRÜ, you can't get rid of them, man. They make you work so hard for it.
That was not easy for Complexity, and they were really feeling the pressure from KRÜ for the majority of that overtime. Forget about regulation.
Yeah.
Overtime was where KRÜ were really pushing them around, and yet Complexity stopped them every step of the way, and you got to give them some credit on defensively to just slow down KRÜ, or at least just to stay with the play.
Yeah, this was an absolutely insane amount of shots for both teams. That's what, 18 shots for Complexity, and then 13. So a lot of breakdowns and pushes back towards that other side. The defense having to work a lot of overtime, to be sure, and they all did an excellent job of it. I mean, both teams really had to make sure they moved the ball, and rightful celebration there for Razebull. It was a scary one.
Yeah, it was a scary one. And for Complexity, I mean, you don't want to go through this series like that. That is stressful. Feeling that pressure, and of course, KRÜ, I think, kind of riding that high from yesterday.
Yes.
They took down Team Secret. They've kind of proven to not only the fans here and their family back home, but of course to themselves that, hey, we can take down the big boys, and they've done that already. And they're showing it here in just game 1. That it was no fluke that they made it to this quarterfinal.
Yes, really well played game overall for both teams, but Complexity ultimately getting the better of them. But if you move into game 2, you really want to make sure that you don't let that one slip away again. They equalized with just a minute left. I mean, they found one goal and then they scored at 0 seconds. So Complexity, you're like, okay, we can do the same thing, but let's just make sure we lock it down.
Got to close it out. And for Complexity, what worked right at the end of that overtime? It was AJG and CRR finding each other. KRÜ trying to shut me up and score one early. Here's Complexity. They can't hold on. KRÜ looking to relive their aggression from game 1. Razebull, good touch. Demo comes out. Whoa, Rafinho and CRR almost getting the angle. Here comes AJG. Wow. It was wide open. Everyone was taken out of the play.
It's amazing that this even works because you don't know. You have to see, did they actually pinch it or what? Either way, Razebull recognizing CRR. Honestly, big double commit there in the corner, and Razebull's just like, fine, you can have it, and they just made it work.
So in our angle, we saw one of the demos. The other one happened exactly at the same time, so you didn't hear the other indicator. Both of KRÜ's defenders got demoed at the exact same time. That's what happened on the open net there. Now Drops. Oh, that touch was a little heavy. So Razebull was able to jump in. KRÜ playing from behind once again. Rafinho. All of Complexity. We're happy to watch him. Drops. Has to get there quickly, but it's Razebull first. AJG in pursuit as CRR.
Yeah, gotta keep them honest. They demoed that back line. Complexity trying to take away some of that deep support from KRÜ and maybe catch him on an open.
What? How did he find that angle? Raise Bowl. Look at the first touch to set it up. And then a second off the back wall. And if you're the last man, you just got to tip your cap.
Yeah, there's literally nothing you can do. It already looked like he'd missed it on the first touch. You're certainly not expecting another one to slice the ball straight down into the net. Brutal second goal.
And so here we go again. A 2-0 lead for Complexity.
Same situation, pretty much the same time.
And it's a great start on the Complexity side. Just like game one, it took some adjustments from KRÜ. They'll see if we'll find it here in game two. Drops, flip reset, denied by CRR. He followed him all the way back from the midfield.
Can't get all stuck in the same corner here if you're Complexity. Looking for CRR. Up early, and Drops already knew where that ball was headed. You're talking about some of these touches getting a little bit heavy from KRÜ, maybe not quite keeping the ball as close. That is something that I feel like Brad has done an excellent job of. Drops able to dodge the air dribble bump. So you really want to get that ball going the right way. I think hand the ball off to Brad, let him move it around, and trust Trufino and Drops to come through and bang one in.
Oh, CRR will slot it near post. That touch came out with enough space, and Complexity up 3-0.
Forced to drop it back, and Brad, I was just picking him up, but unfortunately misses the well, I don't want to say easy, but misses the bounce read. Gotta hit it. Obviously, Strands drops on an island there in the net in a spot that he probably can't make a save in any stretch of the imagination, so bad goal to give up for sure.
And a scary situation now for KRÜ. You got half a game left in game two. Complexity living up once again to the expectation. It's on KRÜ Esports to make the difference at this point. AJG very calmly is taking a stroll through KRÜ's side. It's given up. KRÜ looking for a second touch. Brad, left post, and it'll go in for KRÜ.
That's just taking what the defense gives you here for your KRÜ. You see this deep bomb into the corner. Drops was up nice and early. Trufino freezes CRR in the near post. He can't go out and challenge the ball, and you're right. Brad just sees it. Okay, he's locked over here. Just put it that way, and boy, did he.
Okay, KRÜ back in business. 2:20 on the clock. Trying to make another comeback happen. It took last-second heroics to get to that overtime. Now Brad over to Drops, looking for a second touch. It's not there. Follow-up not there as well. Trufino has to go. He's the last man trying to hang on to this one. Brad will threaten on the air dribble. Over top of one. Complexity there to clear it away, and Raise Bowl pushing it out. AJG, great touch to beat the defender. Complexity trying to stomp down on KRÜ.
Something that Complexity has certainly done an excellent job of overall. I understand where KRÜ wants to move the ball. How about a nasty pinch pass, and thankfully just off the post if you're a KRÜ fan. That was going the other way in a hurry.
Oh, fake from AJG. Oh my goodness, AJG! Saucing him up in the midfield, and my goodness, look at this fake.
And jump all over that pinch pass down there, and you're right, AJG just put him in a blender, says come take it from me, and they couldn't get it off him.
My goodness. And just like that, Complexity reminds you of who they are. 4-1.
Oh, maybe
CRR
5.
has an open net. It's 5 off the kickoff.
Nasty kickoff, unlucky. Kind of got to route this one down if you're KRÜ and say, all right, fair enough, and just brutal. Honestly, it's not a bad idea. They saw that the ball was going to stay middle. They tried to go right at it, go right towards the backboard, but unfortunately, kind of popped up a little bit, just right over him. What can you do? It gets away from you. GG, go next, as they say.
A minute and a half. Big kickoff comes out from KRÜ. Tough to hang on here for Drops. It's getting away from him. Complexity just swarming the KRÜ side there. I like the idea to throw in a fake kickoff, but execution was missing. Raise Bowl just blast this one downfield. Complexity know that they have this one in the bag in the final minute. KRÜ looking to push downfield. Show a sign of hope. Again, they've been threatening the Chiefs. There's been opportunity for them, but that Complexity defense has been rock solid.
Yeah, the timing, the angles of Complexity right now when they're going to break up some of these KRÜ approaches has been absolutely amazing. You can even see AJG right now. Look how early he's up there, and he's just forcing KRÜ to move the ball in a weird way. It's a lot to handle as an accidental tip over his teammate there from Complexity, but if you're Complexity here, 35 seconds, you should just be launching it into the corner and then rotating back and say, cool, let's close this one down.
Yeah, very safe. gameplay, especially after what happened in game 1.
Yeah.
With 20 seconds left, it would be an incredible feat to come back down by 4 goals, but you know that you have to restart at 0-0 in game 3.
They want one more.
And why not? Right? Oh my goodness, what is that? He wanted the, look at him, he thought he was gonna hit it. Oh man.
Like, hang on, let's make a Freestyle Friday clip real fast.
The time will tick down. Complexity dominant here in game 2. As KRÜ will have to go back to the drawing board. Game 1, they found some magic, but here, not to be had. Complexity up 2-0.
They get up early, force KRÜ to make some big plays, or try and make some big plays is perhaps a little more accurate. And unfortunately, KRÜ just not the same level of ball control, the same level of influence on pace of play as they had in game 1. You can see that reflected all over. That's 10 shots for Complexity, 3 for KRÜ. Really pushed back into their own half. And to me, it really was all that challenge game from Complexity. Absolutely a deserved win here, no questions asked. You had them locked down, and they couldn't figure it out.
Checking out the Mobile One high performance replay here. You're seeing AJG with that beautiful fake across the box and beating his man CRR, a hat trick for him. 6 demos on the side of AJG alone.
They did take out that back line a pretty decent amount. You mentioned there was the double demo play and then the other one where they had the goal line, and so they were able to pass the ball across the middle. So yeah, a lot of well-timed demos from Complexity.
We'll see a timeout come from KRÜ, and I think this is the appropriate time
to
have a timeout if you're KRÜ. I mean, you just had a heartbreaking game 1 loss, and then in game 2, just got stopped.
Yeah.
Just up and down the field. I mean, I don't think, again, it was horrible from KRÜ, but Complexity were able to slice through your defense too many times.
And I'm not really sure if it necessarily needs to be a gameplay tweak, right? Because I'm thinking about how game 2 played out, and it felt to me like Complexity really just did tighten the screws a little bit and be like, okay, they understand how we're moving the ball. So I don't necessarily think KRÜ's approach is wrong. It's just Complexity played really well here, and this might just be a, okay, let's take a second, let's kill that momentum a little bit, take a breather, reset, go at it again, because I didn't really hate the KRÜ approach. I just think Complexity played excellent in game 2.
They did, and I think for Complexity, you know, you're taking your time here. Obviously, they're going to get some time to talk as well. And listen, you can look at the smiles. You can see that they're just having a good time up there. But you do have to remember that KRÜ have the ability to come back. You saw it in game 1.
Game 1.
If you've watched
and all weekend.
All weekend. So, and a lot of their series in the group stage, they didn't have the best group stage, but even then, they had some moments where they showed that, you know, if teams weren't playing up to par, they were going to make you pay for it.
Can definitely pick you apart. They are definitely adept at identifying where the ball has to go. You can see that in game 1 and how they like to pass that ball around whenever Complexity just wasn't able to cover them. You know they can move that ball if they have the space for it. So if you're Complexity, you just have to make sure you're playing a sound positional game and say, I don't think you have the mechanics to break us down one at a time. That's, I think, the approach.
Teams are 12-2 coming out of a timeout in games. And for KRÜ, that is an 85% win rate, and they're in some good hands here if they're able to continue that trend. We'll see what they make here in game 3. Remember, best of 7 here in this quarterfinal. And Complexity trying to keep the sails in the right direction as this one is turned away by the KRÜ defense. Again, a goal line save. Drafinho up high for this one as CRR dunks him down. Raise Bull happy to carry this one out to the midfield, and space given to him. Brad just has to parry it to AJG. Complexity hunting for their first, but it's going to be drops to Drafinho to Capine to get out.
And again, you can see Complexity, that positioning in the midfield, slips one through, and that deep support in position for KRÜ. But right now, wash, rinse, repeat. If you're Complexity, you've got this one on lock. You understand where the ball's headed, and you're right there for it every time so far.
Ooh, miscommunication there from drops to Drafinho. Able to keep possession. CR tried to bump drops, going for the touch. Now Drafinho. That pass was just a little bit out in front of Brad. Drops. He's got Drafinho at the top of the box. He's going to take it himself, and again, the defense really not disturbed by these attacks. It feels very predictable right now from KRÜ. As Complexity are able to get back to the other side.
Really nice job from AJG there in the midfield, letting Raise Bull come and take the ball off him because he knows the defense is going to freeze and respect that potential dribble. And just trying to throw the scent off that KRÜ midfield support. Pretty much a dead stalemate here for the first few minutes of game 3. But KRÜ definitely in a little bit better position, definitely pressing offensively far more than they were in the last 5 minutes.
RazeBull, good little flick there. KRÜ trying to posture up defensively. Complexity happy to work through the corners. They know that their opportunities have been more lethal here. Brad on the challenge. We'll just punt CRR out of the way. Boost here for Drafinho as he blasted to the back wall. I feel like KRÜ could have taken control there. Here's Brad, looking for someone in the midfield. It's Drops. Drops, want to take it himself. He'll dunk it down. Drafinho to the back wall. It's up to Brad. Trying to put a shot on, but it's too weak. He had the flip reset, but couldn't hang on to it. And now the transition's on for Complexity. Here comes CRR, and his touch was poor.
Great. Really nice idea there. Don't try and force that dribble. Just throw it back to the side. And how about down into the middle? Double commit from KRÜ Esports, but it looks like they've landed all right. And hard shot from Drops, AJG. Let that one go, and Brad in time in the midfield, and now it's KRÜ trying to throw off the timing of that Complexity support in the midfield with some bumps and demos.
Brad, the last man, coming up big there. KRÜ very pressing. Brad again, oh my. Slices through a couple of them. AJG forced to just slow down. Brad trying to get through CRR, but CRR will not let it happen. Drops will test his luck in the corner, but he's dispossessed. Drafinho diving in as well. Brad again, KRÜ flopping everywhere to get a touch on the ball to prevent the quick transition from Complexity, and CRR with no boost. We'll take it downfield, now Drafinho. KRÜ looking for a way to break through this Complexity squad. Brad to the back wall, and again, Complexity are there. Drafinho looking for options. KRÜ trying to play off each other, but the passes or the positioning is just not there. Now Brad with a big miss. AJG, look out for the fakes. He pops it up. No one there to follow up. Complexity very conservative on the attack.
Whoa, too far.
And just like that achieves 4 minutes. Have almost gone through this game. Drafinho trying to score here. RazeBull denied. Drops, comes through. Shot on target. CR makes the save, and Complexity are there to clear it out.
Love seeing RazeBull come through as the second man on defense there. He knew his teammate was out on an island. He was gonna need some help to get that ball to safety. Yeah, Complexity, you just gotta slam that one down the field. You need a little bit of breathing room at the moment.
Chances though for KRÜ, they're not pretty, but they're making them happen. Now Complexity, the fake over to CR, tried to go under. Big save from Drafinho again. Complexity, 30 seconds left. Trying to steal this game away, but maybe it'll be KRÜ. Brad with a flip reset, now CRR. Very back and forth in game 3. RazeBull looking for the pinch. AJG, can he find the angle? Brad with a great save. Here comes Drops. Not a lot of boost to work with, and RazeBull will undercut him.
Great interference, great trap.
5 seconds left. RazeBull. CRR bumping Drops as this one. AJG is going to get one last chance. KRÜ happy to let this one drop down, achieves. They had no boost, no support upfield. Yep. Overtime in game 3.
A well-deserved overtime for KRÜ. Far more even than the previous game, of course. That being said, still looking to generate some more shots on target. Only 4 in 5 minutes.
Reminder, teams that have called a timeout are 12-2 on land this season. KRÜ trying to add to that. Drafinho Drops, he's in the midfield, the pass never came. They couldn't hold on to it. KRÜ very careful here to keep possession, but he just gave it away. It was straight to RazeBull. He had time and space. And now Complexity, here comes CRR. Dangerous, AJG once again trying to punt people out of the net. And KRÜ somehow survived each attempt.
Great communication there from Complexity to not get caught off guard. Deep pass, right down the side, but starting to feel like that support for the attack, not necessarily there. It all feels like it's focused into that hard counterattack, and then they just have to reset.
Game 3 certainly feels like a stalemate, but maybe RazeBull can come alive, and the ball comes through for Complexity.
Oh man, CRR hard flick through one, finds the open spot on the backboard. Just go get it, El Toro. Give him the horns.
It feels like Complexity, they had a few of those setups, and they just never had the shot to come through. And now Complexity, 3-0 here. KRÜ, the timeout buff, not coming through for them. And they're on match point now.
That one hurts. Felt like you played a pretty solid game there if you're KRÜ. Obviously, still some of the same problems. You weren't necessarily able to always find that space, and they want the Viking clap.
They're calling to the crowd for it. And they're going to get it. And they're feeling themselves. I mean, how many times do we see teams just play to the crowd in the middle of a series?
They all feed off that energy, as many great competitors do. Sometimes you just need a little something extra. We've talked to a few coaches who are just like, yeah, our players play a lot better on land. They feel a lot more invested and involved with people cheering for them in the background. And here in game 3, Complexity rightfully asking for their just desserts after a hard-fought victory.
You can see how happy RazeBull putting that one away, and it was a big-time goal because you felt like KRÜ were really slowing this game down. It was a much slower game than the previous games, even for KRÜ standards, and I think for Complexity to even edge out this one was so important.
You can see some fun facts from Drops. 3 years in a month, most popular Fennec.
He jumps on the joystick and
Oh,
accelerates?
that's wild. Reminds you of Rizzo's controls accelerating with the joystick.
That's disgusting.
It's not for you.
It's not for me.
We'll see if joystick jumping gets the job done here in game 4. Long road back has to start at some point. See if KRÜ can find a way through that Complexity defense in the midfield that has been so tough as CRR really tries to tie up Drufinho.
Complexity would love to have an early goal here in game 4 just to set the tone. Get right back to business. RazeBull, he could do it. That one goes off the ceiling. It's on KRÜ though. They were oh so close in game 3. Aside from the game 2 blowout, it has been a very close affair. CRR pass to RazeBull again. A good dunk. This one coming back down. AJG, no, it was somehow RazeBull backflips into it, and Complexity on top first.
Here's that difference. You see Complexity, they slowed down that counterattack. They were letting that ball roll in the midfield first, and then they're like, okay, how do we string this one together? Up to the sidewall, back into the middle, and then at that point it becomes the improviser's ball game. All right, yeah, I can block that clear. All right, yeah, tip it across, I'll go figure it out. Complexity string it together after realizing they have a little bit of space, and the kickoff may go their way as well, but Brad, of course, ready on the backboard.
That would have been worst case scenario, and they're still under fire here. This one saved off the crossbar to give up a goal, and then a kickoff goal immediately after. Complexity trying to not let them out, trying to keep this advantage off the kickoff going. This goes to show how important the kickoff is as RazeBull off the backboard, flip reset inbound, and he can't get under it. KRÜ still trying to stabilize here.
That little interference touch absolutely just twisted him into a knot there in the corner. That's a nice freeing touch.
And all of that pressure came from just a poor kickoff from KRÜ. About 30, 40 seconds. They're finally able to break out, stabilize their boost meters. Now Drufinho hunting, but denied. AJG up high as he doesn't get a touch. Back the other way we go. Brad. AJG will take care of Drops, and Complexity, again, easily getting out of their own side at the moment. This one pinched off the ceiling. The ball given back to RazeBull. And KRÜ are lucky that RazeBull wasn't able to hang on to it. This one now rolling up to the Complexity side. KRÜ looking for any signs of life here in game 4. Drufinho, unfortunately, goes right back to Complexity. Complexity's positioning has just been so good. It just goes to show it feels like they can predict everything that KRÜ's going to do.
Yeah. Always right back into the teeth of it. That's probably been the big difference. Complexity sees space, they take space and use it. KRÜ is fighting to even find it.
Just a touch from Drops, but it's right back to Complexity. The pass over to CRR, and he gets bumped out of the way. Opportunity now for KRÜ.
I don't think it really mattered. He didn't have a boost, so just elected to let that one go up the wall. It's the better choice, but it slows that counterattack.
You can see how deep Drufinho was on that play. He didn't have a lot of faith with the comms, and now a bump attempt there on CRR. That one was dangerous. That one had potential, at least getting towards the goal line. Now CRR, no boost, takes the first challenge.
Oh my. They won.
Dunk from RazeBull, and Brad will very calmly put it to his corner, but he's under fire now. AJG, CRR's up quickly. Did he read it? Oh boy, he did, but a save from Drufinho. Still CRR trying to fight for it in the box. KRÜ scrambling to get this one out. Raceball to attack the net once again.
Oh,
it's
no.
dangerous, up high, and no one's there to follow up. Now CRR comes in. The complexity.
Look at him just take all the boost away. Just limit as much KRÜ mobility as possible.
And now the pace picking up. Complexity. Smell blood in the water. This one over to AJG. Free shot.
Oh, yeah.
Away. Complexity double up.
Swarming KRÜ on defense here. The pressure on the backboard. Brad forced to go cover a ton of ground, and unfortunately, what's that leave? Everything open over the middle. AJG for free. 2-0 Complexity.
And a disaster now for KRÜ. You've got to get 2 just to equal their score. Here's Brad, maybe 1 as the demo comes through. I was blinded, I didn't even see it. But what a shot from Brad.
Gotta have to find something, and boy did they. Huge demo from Drops, actually. Yeah, I was trying to figure out which one of them did it.
I just got a boom in my face.
Excellent shot, though. Straight under the crossbar, right around the back end. Well deserved. Perfect kickoff for KRÜ. Couldn't have come at a better time either.
Yeah, they really need that, but it's already Complexity threatening AJG. That could have been the dagger. KRÜ somehow deny once again. They're within 1 now. Time on the clock. Do we see late game heroics again, or is it Complexity to push them underwater? Jaffinho, it's straight into AJG, and quickly CRR's up. Dangerous again. Racebull's not going to bite. He knows what it means to be the 3rd man in that situation, and with a 1-goal lead with less than a minute, you can't press. Jaffinho straight into CRR. Racebull gets 2. It just drops back. The respawns are coming through, and Drops somehow gets back to the ball.
CRR just winning challenge after challenge and dumped upfield to Drop. Hard shot denied. CRR again.
Complexity sent 2 on that far wall, and there was an opening for KRÜ. 22 seconds on the clock. KRÜ needs something. They've got to get down the field. Jaffinho, he's got boost. The shot's there, and CRR to pick it up. Wasting precious time. Brad has to go. 10 seconds left. Jaffinho looking for anything. KRÜ off the back wall. Raceball to clear the lane. Complexity says no, not today. This is ours. We're going to a top 4, and it'll drop